IVM.
Hi everybody, this is Amit Doshi and I have a request. We'd really appreciate it if you could go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill out our survey over there. It's going to take a few minutes to do, but it gives us some really interesting information that we can take to advertisers and brands about who's listening to the network. If you're comfortable giving us your email address, while you're filling out the survey, we'll enter you into a random drawing where we'll be sending out a bunch of IVM swag to some of our listeners. Last year we sent out coffee mugs, and this year we're hoping to send out much cooler stuff. That's ivmpodcast.com/survey. We really appreciate your help.
Hello everyone, welcome back. You're listening to The Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok, a podcast of, by and for the millennials. I'm your host Shlok Ramchandran.
And I'm Tanvi lad. You know, Shlok, I'm actually in a very bad mood right now. I mean, I've just come back from training and, we had a tough session of shadow training and it's the last couple of weeks, I would say, have been quite hard. Physically, especially, we've been working out quite intensively. And, I train with a lot of youngsters. So, and I'm like, as usual, quite motivated and energetic and, giving my 120% in every session. And I've been observing this one kid, every day. And today I had a bit of a skirmish with him because he first of all, he walks in, he's a bit of a cocky guy and he walks in with his collar up. So that puts me off to start with. But anyways, so he finishes the shadow training and comes up to me and, my body is finished. Yeah. I don't have any motivation. Yeah. And I just lost it over there. I literally lost my head at him. I was like, what do you mean you don't have motivation? You're a 17-year-old kid. You haven't achieved jack in your badminton career till today. And you say you've lost motivation. And he turns around and back answers me. But just to sum it up, I mean, I was just thinking, I don't remember ever having lack of motivation, as a factor that stopped me from training when I was 16 and 17. I mean, I was yearning to be on the court for hours and hours. And these kids today are complaining of lack of motivation. I mean, it's something that just puzzles me. I don't know. Have you experienced something like this?
Yes, so right now I'm mentoring this junior national champion called Simran Singhi. And boy, some days I just go and feel like banging my head at some corner because it is tough, for a 17-year-old and for an 18-year-old, especially now when you don't have tournaments. It's all about doing the same things again and again. I mean, you've reached a stage in your career where you know that, you need to repeat stuff so that you would reach to the next level. I mean, you as a 17-year-old was also the same. There's no big difference. You were still the same. But everybody doesn't have that kind of focus, especially when they're so young and early in their careers. It takes time. Once you go out there, you play more tournaments, you see the level around, that's where it somewhere hits you, saying that, and whatever I'm doing is not actually enough. From a motivation point of view, it is not very difficult for me. As a coach, I come in, I put in the same kind of energy behind the girl, but I do see the ups and downs. So today, just, Simran comes up and tells me, Shlok, man nahi kar raha hai khelne ka. I mean, and I just thrashed her, saying that you should be privileged that you're getting a chance to play. So I kind of understand what you're going through. And taking nothing away from the 17-year-old you spoke to, interacted to, but that is the trend. We didn't face something like this when we were 17, that we didn't have any tournaments for 6 to 8 months and we were at our homes. So I have some kind of sympathy towards a 17-year-old, but yeah, times have changed. And I think as a coach or as a senior pro, you need to adapt and, try to find new ways, to keep them engaged on.
That's true. But I mean, when you look at the level, when you see the level of international badminton today and, international sport in general, it's super competitive. Fitness levels have to be at their peak at all times. I mean, like you said, the millennials today, they spend a lot of time on social media. They're aware of all that's happening in the sporting world. But at the same time, all they probably see and what catches their attention and fancy is, the glamorous, everything that appears very glamorous. whether it's the photo shoots and, the endorsements and the everything that you get after you've really proved yourself and become a star and become a celebrity. And they want that, really soon. And I see frustration setting in quite early, which is not a very healthy trend, because they need to realize that there is a lot of work that goes in over the years, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of work, just the pure hard work, the grind, the discipline, which I think they're either not aware of, or they're not willing to actually, come back to the drawing board, keep their feet on the ground and actually put in the work, put in the hours. So that's quite upsetting, I would say.
Getting up every day and being motivated to come on court and give you 100% is not easy. Be it on court or be it in corporate, that every day you are going through the same monotonous drill. Yeah. Getting up in the morning, going and training, and you've lived the national camp life and you're living the athlete life right now. It is so boring, and it is very tough to do the same things for weeks and weeks. So that requires a special character. So that's why you see, champions, you don't see champions that often, right? Only people who have that, go and, end up making those waves at the biggest stage.
When you look at the athletes at our national camp, I would say, I think the atmosphere in general, because just surely the numbers, just the sheer numbers, you're training, you're living with your competitors. If you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So I think that itself is a great motivating factor. To see your competitor, on court at 4:30 in the morning, I would want to get up and, I better do my drills. I cannot, be laid back and say, no, I'm going to sleep till 7 and then, train later. I have to get up and do my job. So I think the atmosphere that's fueled, or the culture that's fueled at the national camp, is very critical and will go a long way in producing the champions that we're looking to produce.
Interestingly, our guest today on show has had a similar journey in terms of, being someone who wasn't very motivated to become a Super Series champion. So our guest for today's show is none other than Chirag Shetty. And those who don't know Chirag Shetty, shame on you, first of all.
Both of us actually share a very special bond with him, because we trained with him when he was literally a 7, 8, 10-year-old in Bombay, when we were in Bombay training at the same academy. And we've literally seen him grow from that scrawny youngster whose sole motive was to give, the girls practice. He used to be only made to spar with Tanvi lad and all the other girls in the academy. And to see him shape into this double stalwart is incredible.
So yes, I'm really looking forward to having him on show. And, it's going to be a fun-filled talk, but also the listeners will get to understand the journey behind what has made Chirag Shetty today. So on the other side of the break, we will have Chirag Shetty. So yeah, let's get him on after the break.
What are some of the radical changes that are now shaping our workspace? With physical distancing and heightened safety protocols being the norm, will technology finally make its large-scale entry to the workspace? Will design as we know it change for the long term? Is it possible for the Indian commercial real estate space to adopt a 360-degree approach to sustainability? Join our hosts at the Future of Space podcast by RMZ as we deliberate with industry leaders, analysts, and bright young minds on the way forward for the workspace given the new COVID normal. Tune in to the IVM Podcasts app or wherever you stream your favorite podcasts.
So, welcome Chirag. Welcome to the Millennial Athlete. And first of all, congratulations on your Arjuna Award. I think it was long overdue that, you and Satvik have been playing at the highest level, and awards like this, coming at the right time just serve to motivate you, if not anything else, to, push harder and strive higher. And, in the run up to the Olympics, I think it couldn't have come at a better time. So, congratulations on the award, and looking forward to some good results at the Olympics.
Thank you, Tanvi, for having me on the show. And yes, like you said, I think it couldn't have come at a better time. I think with the COVID-19 pandemic and no tournaments taking place, this couldn't have come at a better time. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Yes, this award is not only special for you, but also for people around you. I mean, somebody like me who's, known you ever since you were 7 and, seen you going through the ranks, obviously, part of the same school. We are both proud Ryanites.
Yes.
Then, we started at Goregaon Sports Club together. We were under 16 state champions to eventually, play together at the Thomas Cup and, training at the National Center. I'm extremely proud. So this, makes it even more special for me that a person I know so closely and has worked so hard in the past few years, has got his due recognition. So yeah, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Yes, how's COVID been like? In the past 6 months, I know motivation has been a little tough, but what have you been up to?
So initially, I think the first 1-2 months, I think after the initial 14 days, I think I had really high motivation in the first 14 days. But after that, it fizzled out. I didn't have any motivation whatsoever because I didn't know which tournaments to look up to. So after the initial 14 days, I think I wasn't training that hard because I couldn't do much at home. But I think in the month of June, I started training at the Goregaon Sports Club, where I started playing badminton. So I spoke to the local authorities and they gave me the permission to start training with a few other players, maintaining social distancing and stuff. So yeah, I've been training ever since, and I think the past 2-3 months have been really good and have worked a lot on my weak points as well. So yeah, it's been really good overall.
Okay. So Chirag, I mean, just, when I thought of the fact that we're interviewing Chirag, the first, the mental image that comes to my mind is that scrawny little youngster who used to, train with me in our junior days and who used to always be made to spar with the girls in, play singles with the girls. Was his daily training was to give Tanvi lad practice. And to see you, shape into this, this fit, double stalwart, so to say, it's been an amazing transformation. So, of course, the move to Hyderabad was critical in all this. I'm sure it was a difficult decision for you to leave the comforts of your home and your family in Bombay and to take the plunge, so to say. So, can you just, take us through that whole, the decision that you had to make and finally life in Hyderabad?
Well, I think till the age of 18, I was training in Bombay with Uday Sir at Uday Sir's Academy. And I was kind of happy training here. But I think like you said, when I took the plunge and decided to shift to Hyderabad, I think the initial few months, it was quite difficult to stay away from home. And but my coach who asked me to come to Hyderabad, Mr. Tan Kemhar, who had just joined the Indian national setup, as the chief head coach of the Indian doubles team, I think was quite, he actually saw some spark in both of us, actually, me and Satvik, and he asked my father to come to Hyderabad and speak with him, and he made sure to tell my father that within a year or so, you will see your son actually playing well, and within a span of 2 years or so, you will be in the top 30. So when he said that, I think I had just crossed my under-19s and I was like, this is like a far-fetched dream and it's quite difficult to actually happen in reality. But I think his vision actually really happened, and I feel he was the one who actually made the partnership work. And I think all credit goes to him, Mr. Tankema.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have also been in the same group and train with Kim Tanner. I do believe that he is the one who's got the X factor in your game. But it wasn't all smooth sailing right from the start. I mean, you and Satvik had a little tough beginning. You weren't winning a lot of matches. But then suddenly there was a switch where I saw in your attitude. I remember you being, the last person to come on 6 a.m. sessions. And I remember you used to go and brush in the bathroom right next to the hall. And then suddenly I see a new side to you. You are 45 minutes before training. You are eating the right things. You're making sure that you're resting on time. What really got this change? I mean, something must have triggered from inside. And as we all know, it is something which comes from within. As much as people tell you that, ye kar, wo kar. But there's this switch which comes within you. What was that moment where you decided, boss, I need to take this extremely seriously. This is my livelihood now. Because you were a little laid back. So when did this happen?
I think a lot of credit goes to Tan Kim Har also, because I think like you, both of us actually, me and Satvik and Shlok and Arjun, he asked us to shift to the new academy because the other rest of the boys was staying at some other academy, and he wanted both the pairs to actually focus and be away from bad influence, if you can say that. He wanted us to really perform at the highest level. Initially, I felt it was a bad decision because I even pleaded him to allow us to stay at the old academy, because there were a whole lot of players of our age who we could talk to, and we were quite settled there. But he was adamant and he wanted us to shift to the other academy so that we come on sessions at the right time, and like we don't go out much as often. So yeah, I think a huge credit goes to Tan coach, and also I think after me and Satvik started winning tournaments, I think it came from within that. Yes, I think it's my livelihood and it's my bread and butter, and that's how I basically it's my job to perform, and my performance will only improve if I take care of my health, my resting, and so yeah, I think that actually came from within, and maybe in the year 2018 or 2017, after we played some 2-3 quarterfinals in the Super Series, I think that change in attitude came.
I mean, to have a coach like Tan actually come up to you or your dad and tell you that, I see this spark in this pair, and, within the next 2 years, they will break into the top 30. I mean, it must have been at that point. It's a huge responsibility. If you do take that on, I mean, yes, it seems like a dream. Oh, I would love to be in the top 30 in 2 years. But, what was the emotion at that point? I mean, it did bring a lot of responsibility, a lot of question marks, I'm sure. Did you believe in him right from the start? Were there any doubts? How did you actually, make the decision of going full throttle?
No, I didn't. I think in the initial few tournaments that we played, me and Satvik lost in the very first round. So the first 3 international tournaments that we played in Poland, France, and Vietnam, all were international challenge tournaments, and we lost in the very first round. So I remember after coming back from those 3 tournaments, both me and Satvik had a conversation with Tan coach, and he took us outside, and we were not playing so well in the practice game. So he took us out, and like he had a conversation with us and told us that you are my special players and I will definitely give you the best. But if things are not working between you guys, you can always split the partnership and play with different partners. But I genuinely feel that you guys definitely have a future together, and you should really give it one more shot. So after that, we played a small tournament in Mauritius, the international series, and which we won. And I feel that even though it was a small tournament, we got the necessary confidence of winning the matches, which we weren't before, because we were losing in the very first round. So I think winning 4-5 matches back to back, even though it was against, I would say not good, a really good opposition, but that definitely gave us the confidence. And I think from then on, we won some 3-4 tournaments back to back. I think that definitely gave us the confidence. And as far as the top 30 is concerned, I think he told this in front of, I guess, 30 people after, I think, our skipping session. He told us that I see Chirag and Satvik getting into the top 30 in 2 years' time. And in 2 years, actually, we entered the top 20. We were 16, I think. And I think when he told me that, I think I felt like laughing, frankly speaking. I never really had belief that I could actually enter the top 13 within 2 years. Maybe I would say in 3, 4, 5 years after being a seasoned campaigner in the Super Series events, but definitely not in 2 years. So yeah, I think a lot of credit goes to him.
So yeah, in terms of personalities, I've been fortunate enough to also, share a room with Satvik, and I've also spent a lot of time with you. I mean, you guys are poles apart.
Yeah.
I mean, you are an out-and-out extrovert, whereas Satvik is a total introvert. I mean, now you see him dancing on PBL and stuff, but he wasn't like this.
Yeah.
You love all kinds of cuisine, be it sushi, be it Malaysian. I mean, you just go gaga over sushi. Whereas, Satvik only loves his biryani and his KFC. I'm sure it must have been a little tough right at the beginning, but where did you find the middle point where, you both could come and find some mutual space where, okay, both of us really enjoy this? So when did that happen?
I think for me, I think there was no middle ground. I had to kind of adjust to Satvik's Indian cuisine. For example, I think he would never come with me to a Japanese restaurant, so I had to kind of leave my cuisine options and go with him for Indian cuisine. So yeah, I think that's the middle ground for us. And as far as tournaments and all is concerned, I think both of us have always been really good friends. I think right from the first tournament that we played, I think although we lost in the very first round, I think we had some really good fun after that. We got to visit some places, and I think that really helped our off-court relationship as well, as in we became really good friends off-court. And I think that really helped us on-court as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were chatting with Rohan Bopanna in our previous episode, and he did mention that, one of the basic, the fundamentals of a good partnership is that you have to be good friends and understand each other as partners off the court first. So, I mean, what else do you all do, when you travel? How did you build that off-court relationship?
Usually, like, I think we have at least one meal together. Like, Tan coach made us had told us before going for tournaments that as if you are in a partnership, it's like being in a marriage. You have to make adjustments, and you should have at least one meal together. It doesn't matter if it's a breakfast or the lunch or the dinner, but you need to have at least one meal together, so as to kind of have that, so that you develop a friendship with your partner. It shouldn't be like both of you are going separate ways, and he's going with someone else and you are going with someone else. You should have at least one meal together, and I think that I have followed till date, even though it's been 2 years since Tan coach has left. But I think I still try to follow that as much as possible. So I have at least one meal together when I'm traveling with Satvik.
Chirag, I want to go back in time and go back to the landmark tournament which put you guys in the limelight. I'm talking about the Thailand Open, which was held last year. I mean, till then you guys were playing semi-finals, you were playing finals, you were right about there, but that big victory, was still a little far away. And I remember having this conversation with you a couple of months back, saying that you guys are right there. It is just that having that perfect week, and not a lot of people know that, but you were actually injured going into the finals, and you had this tear on your abdomen. And when you won, when the final shot went, and it was inside. What was that feeling like?
I think the moment Satvik hit that shot and it fell in, I think I was completely speechless. Firstly, I just fell down on the court. I had zero clue what had just happened, and I think only after Dewey coach came in did we realize that we had won the tournament. And I think, yes, like you said, I was injured before the finals. Not just before the finals, actually, I was injured before the tournament itself. We were coming in from Japan, where I had suffered ab pull, and it got aggravated as I started winning matches in Thailand. And I think by the semi-final day, I think I had torn it completely, because after the semi-final match, I remember coming back to the hotel room, and I couldn't really walk back to my room. It was that bad. I had to bend down and walk. And before the semi-final matches, I was getting it released by my physio Johnson sir. But after the semi-finals, he just asked me to go and rest in the room, because he got to know that it's torn completely, because he couldn't release it any further. So yeah, I think that day I took some painkillers, and next morning I was ready to play the finals.
But did that kind of work in your favor? I mean, inadvertently, did the injury kind of help you guys? Because, you and Satvik are both initially at least you were both, more on the attacking, aggressive side, and then, you kind of had to change your game style. And I mean, in this tournament, you did play a little more of, the waiting game. Did it help you in any way?
Definitely, I think it helped us a lot, especially in the pre-quarterfinals against the Indonesian pair of Fajar and Dian. I think both of them were expecting really hard smashes, and all Satvik did was hit half smashes, and it was quite easy for me to catch it from the front court. And I think they couldn't realize it the whole match that we were not smashing at all. And I think especially in the pre-quarterfinals, yes, we had a really good. I think it was actually a blessing in disguise, like you can say, because we had very few shots that we could play because of the injury, but we used it to perfection. I think although we didn't have our main weapon, that is a smash, but we played some really good shots. I would say smart strokes, which actually helped us win the tournament.
Going to something serious now. Chirag, you've been accused by former players of being the worst singer in the group. Parupalli Kashyap and Ajay Jairam have gone on record on the Million Athlete and said that Chirag Shetty is the worst singer in the Indian team. Your thoughts and your reaction to those accusations?
I totally agree with them. I think, yes, I'm quite a bad singer, but I would say I'm quite, I sing it from my heart, although it doesn't come out well from my mouth, from my vocal cords, but yes, I sing it from my heart. But yeah, I'm a pretty bad singer.
But I think they've made up by giving him the title of the most entertaining guy you can have in the team. So I think they all look forward to having you, around, whether it's going out for a meal, especially sushi or anything Asian. Chirag is the leader of the pack. I think you keep them entertained. Ajay, of course, loves you you're his favorite roomie. So I think, you're quite a loved soul, I would say, in the Indian team.
Yes, I would agree. Because usually I can go with the seniors as well as with the juniors. Like, I don't really mind going I am cordial with both the spectrums, whether it be the seniors or the juniors. So yeah, I'm pretty cool with it. So I think maybe that's the reason why they said that.
I mean, yes, the best thing about Chirag is that once he loses his match, there is never a free day. He has to go and explore. I remember when we were playing the Badminton Asia Team Championships in Alor Setar, the minute we lost in the quarterfinals, when we were going back in the bus, Chirag comes up to me and says that, bro, Lankavi jate hai na? It's close by, coach ko, let's talk to coach, go Lankavi. So, coach told us that if you do 20 sets of shadow training, only then he will let us go to Lankavi. And we did
Lankavi. That. Yeah, I remember doing that.
Yeah, we went to Lankavi. And obviously, we had, the great man Sai Praneeth also. And, we had a lot of fun. And Chirag, you love traveling, don't you? I mean, with your Instagram feeds, any city you go, only if you've lost a free day, you go and explore the city.
Haven't you done like a top 10 or 15 top 15 places on my favorite places that I've visited or something like that? He's done like a series on Instagram.
Yes. Like, I love traveling. I think my favorite city would be Paris. And I remember last year after the French Open, usually like I have to visit the Eiffel Tower every year. And last year I played the finals and we had to postpone the ticket by a day. And we were leaving in the afternoon, say around 3 o'clock we had the flight and we had to leave for the airport by around 10. So I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, took my coach along with me, and we went to the Eiffel Tower, clicked pictures. We went to the Arc de Triomphe, clicked pictures there, and then we came back to the hotel, had our breakfast and left for the airport.
I was hoping Chirag would say I woke some girl up at 6 o'clock in the morning and got to the Eiffel Tower. He's taken a coach there.
I wish.
I mean, this is all we wish, all dreams, all of us boys have those dreams. Like, we will go, we'll take a girl with us to the Eiffel Tower. But in the end, it's just us, or if none of us is there, then it's the coach. So it's a very sad life.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks outside of the sport, saying, oh, these guys are traveling the world. They must be meeting all kinds of, exotic women and they must be having so much fun. No, guys, it's
No.
not like that. We do not have any fun. We just hang out with each other and that's it. I think Chirag can also agree. Chirag, what do you have to say on that?
I agree. I totally agree with Shlok. In all the tournaments that I've played, it's only with the boys that I have traveled the most. I've never traveled with any girl. As bad as it may sound, yes, that's the reality.
That's the sad reality. Harsh reality. And on that note, I think we should take our little break and we'll be right back on the other side with some fun stuff to chat about.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, don't you think it's about time you started? We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I wanted to kind of just give a quick reminder to everybody. As I mentioned up top, we are doing our annual listener survey right now. If you could please go and take a couple of minutes out of your day and fill it out, we would really, really appreciate it. It's ivmpodcast.com/survey. If you're comfortable giving us your email address, we'll enter you into a random drawing and we're going to be sending out swag to a bunch of randomly selected listeners. So do definitely get on board that train. Let me tell you a little bit about what we did on the network this week. We launched a new show called Zindagi Diaries with Ragini Kumar. Many of you might have seen Ragini on television during the IPL. She's a presenter, but she's showing a different side of herself over here with a poetry podcast. Give it a shot, give it a listen. Let me know what you all think. Vishal Gondal is back this week after a while. He's been on an extended break, but he has Rahul Narvekar for the first episode. Really interesting conversation. Do check it out. Raji Samant joins Gauri Devidayal on This Round Is On Me, the two talk about the wine business and what's going on there. We had a number of conversations about the Farmers Bill and the surrounding agitation this week on the network as well. Maruk Inayat had a great episode on the note. Pulia Bazi did a deep dive into the issues around this. And on Siders, we have our typical, fun conversation about this stuff with a little bit of a seriousness, a little bit of fun. Do check that out on Cock and Bull on Thursday last week. Akash Mehta joined us for that episode. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Welcome back to the Millennial Athlete. We still have Chirag Shetty on the show. Chirag, the postponement of the Olympics, it must have been a little tough to take in, considering the form you guys were in. And, it must have been, we never expected such a situation to hit. But somewhere down the line, it must have hurt a bit, saying that, the Olympics and you were almost there. 99% you were there and you were playing the Olympics. And then suddenly it getting postponed to the next year. How have you dealt with it mentally?
It was quite heartbreaking, I would say. I think in the month of March, when they actually announced it, before that, I was hoping that it will take place. A lot of people, a lot of articles were coming where the IOC chairman and all were quite positive about the Olympics taking place. But I think in the month of March, around 20th something, they decided that it's best to postpone the Olympics. The initial few days, I was quite heartbroken, frankly. I think because an athlete puts in a whole lot of effort to actually go on to play the Olympics, and the Olympic qualification tournaments were pretty hectic and all of us had worked a lot, and suddenly you get to know that the Olympics is postponed by a year. I think it certainly hits you hard. But I think after a couple of weeks, I think with the situation that was going around and how things were, I think I kind of got in terms with it, and I think it was not just the Olympics, but the whole world came into a standstill, and we couldn't really do anything about it. So I think I just took it like this whole year is gone, and all you have to do is focus on the next year's Olympics.
Has it been hard to, stay motivated? I mean, of course, the Arjunas come at, a good time, which kind of, motivated you in another way. I mean, maybe extrinsically it's motivated you, but intrinsically, it's probably not been as easy to maintain your fitness, your skills, your, just work on weak points. But I know from, Shlok has been mentioning that you've been diligent now that training, Goregaon Sports Club is open. You've been diligent with your practice, and so how are you managing to stay motivated, from within that, I have things to work on and I want to iron them out before the season kicks in?
So I think, like I said before, I think after the lockdown was set in, I think the first month was pretty difficult. And by the second month, there was a time where I stopped training for at least a week. I didn't do anything at all. I was getting up at 10. I was sleeping at 1, 2 in the night. I was getting up at 10, easily chill life. And I wasn't doing anything at all. But after a week, this was in the 4th week of May. And after that, my father got the permission for us to play at GSC. And I think I was the happiest that I was getting to play on court again after a 2-month break. And after that, I think just getting onto the court and playing badminton gave me the motivation to actually start putting in a lot of effort in the training. And I think it's been the same since. I think just getting to know कि चलो आज badminton खेलने मिल रहा है, that itself was kind of a motivating thing for me, because the first 2 months were really bad. Like even getting out of the house was like a luxury for us. And like getting to play badminton itself felt like अरे यार बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. So I think that was the sole thing that gave me the motivation to actually start training and putting in a whole lot of effort.
On a different note, I mean, I'm just, sometimes we just get caught up. There's the tournaments are happening, the circuit is on, we have to qualify for the Olympics. It's high pressure all the time, especially at the National Center. There's never a dull moment. I mean, it's always a pressure cooker kind of environment. And then, suddenly I think this break has, like you said, I'm getting to wake up in the morning and go play badminton. It's just, you're back to the sole reason why you started playing the sport in the first place. And it's, come just before the Olympics, you reset mentally. And I think it's done you good, I would say.
Exactly. I think, I don't know if it's done me good because, but yeah, I think now it's a lot better. I think I know what I have to do and what I have to work on. And I got a whole lot of time at home, idle time, I would say, to introspect and do into things which I lack in. I watched a lot of videos and tried to see what mistakes I made, and I tried to work on it in the past 2-3 months. But yeah, I think it may not have been the best of things that have happened to me or the world. But I think as humans, we actually took things lightly, and like the smallest of things of actually going out of the house felt like luxury. So I think overall I'm pretty chill with it now.
I mean, speaking on those lines, as an athlete, what sometimes people miss out is the amount of time you're not getting to spend with family. I mean, you've been traveling continuously for the past 4 years, and the other time you are in Hyderabad. You've got a younger sister, and you've got your mom is also very close to you, your family is very close to you. So you've been not got a lot of time, to spend with them. But now, your parents have got you, and you're having 3 meals a day for the past 3-4 months. I mean, I'm sure they must be really happy. Your mom and your sister must be really happy to have you around more. So it is a bit of a welcome change to connect with your family, I think, which I'm sure you must have also felt it.
Definitely. I think after I joined the National Center, I've hardly got to spend this kind of time with my family. I've hardly been in Bombay for more than 2 weeks, and definitely on that aspect, I think I really had a good time at home, that I got to spend time with my family. And yes, I think there are people in the academy who don't wish to go back home, but I am one of those who actually likes to go back home. So I think in that aspect, yes, I think I had a really good time, and I actually got to spend a lot of time with my family, which I think I'm pretty grateful for.
To all those single ladies who want to get into Chirag's heart, please get him sushi or get him anything which is related to lamb. I'm sure he'll fall in love with you. So this is my tip for all those girls who like Chirag and want to message him on Insta or stuff. Sushi and anything related to lamb is the way to Chirag's heart.
Well, it'll have to probably be like Mangalorean style lamb, right?
No, any kind of lamb.
So should we move into the rapid fire then? Jump right in. Chirag, You're very rapid and fast on court, so I want to see some speed in your answers here as well.
Yes.
Okay, go for it, Shlok.
Okay, your best friend. And I'm not talking about off court or on court. Your best friend who you confide in.
Nobody, but like a really good friend would be, I can say, I don't know.
Wow.
Likith.
Oh, wow, you went for Likith from here.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
But I don't confide with him.
Out of all people, you chose Likith. So,
But I don't share my problems with him.
okay.
That's good. Yeah, you deal with it yourself.
Yeah.
And your best friend in the Indian setup?
In the team,
Yeah.
would be Satvik and I would also say Sai,
Your celebrity crush?
Disha Patni.
Nice. Okay, the most influential person in your life?
I would say badminton career-wise, I think who really brought in the change would be Tan coach,
And apart from, this the most influential person?
my dad.
Yeah, okay. Your non-badminton idol?
There are two, Rafael Nadal and Usain Bolt.
Yes, vamos.
Yes.
Okay, so the final question from me is that if there is ever a biopic, made on you, whom would you like to cast as Chirag Shetty?
Probably in the current scenario, it would be Vicky Kaushal.
I mean, Vicky Kaushal could do a good job.
Yes. But it's a too far-fetched a dream. अभी बहुत करना बाकी है.
You never know. I mean, growing up, you never knew you could have, won a super series and, Arjun Award, you can just dream. And, we believe that, you can, definitely get a medal for us at the Olympics next year. So, yeah, so dream big.
Yeah.
Go for it, Tanvi.
Okay, so the most underrated badminton player in India, according to you, any event?
Underrated?
Yeah. Men's singles, women's singles. Someone you think really has potential and should be out there, but probably is not getting the right break or the right opportunity.
Maybe I would say Arjun.
MR Arjun.
Yeah.
My ex-partner.
And both of you are ex-partners.
Yeah.
I know. I think he's a fine athlete and just needs
he's my IOC teammate as well.
Yeah, I know. Your roommate as well at some point?
Yeah, sorry. He's my roommate as well.
Oh.
But IOC teammate also.
In a pod. Okay. Your favorite movie, Chirag?
In English, it would be The Shawshank Redemption. And in Hindi, it would be Swades.
Swades. Nice. Okay. Who's your favorite singer? Okay. I'll rephrase this. The best and worst singer in the Indian team?
Indian team. Worst would be me because I'm the one who sings. Even though I know I sing badly, there might be bad singers out there, but they don't really go out on a public platform and sing. But right now it's me, and the best I would say Ajay.
Okay, so if you hadn't made it in badminton, what is one career option which would have been like the logical thing for you to do?
I think I would have done engineering for sure. Definitely.
I mean,
I would have been an engineer.
Becoming an engineer, right? In the early days before you made it big, your mom wanted you to become an engineer.
Yes, even I wanted to become an engineer. My father also wanted me to become an engineer. But he didn't force me to take up engineering. But yeah, if not badminton, I would have definitely done engineering.
Chirag, the IITian, that.
Maybe not an IITian, but an average engineer.
No, I think I prefer Chirag the Olympian than
the Arjun Awardee.
Arjun Awardee, and probably I don't know how many other national awards they're going to go on to win. But okay, so the final question is your dream goal. I mean, as a badminton player, what is the one thing that you probably, if you win that, you'd probably have zero motivation to strive for anything else. It's like your dream goal.
I think winning the Olympic gold medal, undoubtedly. I think every badminton player would say that. And I think winning the Olympic gold is the ultimate dream. But I wonder sometimes how does Carolina Marin actually get the motivation to go on to the next tournament and play? Because I think she's won everything that badminton has to offer in the women's singles department. But I think she always comes in with that never say die attitude, and she always wants to win. So I think winning the Olympic gold medal.
I think Tai Tzu had even gone on record to say that she was considering retiring, after the Olympics. She's barely 25, but I think she's won everything there was to win. and she's been world number 1. And I think just, purely out of lack of motivation, she was considering retiring. But I hope not. She's one of my favorite players, and she keeps the crowd absolutely entertained, with her display of skills. So I just hope she doesn't quit so soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Chirag, one piece of advice you would like to give to all those budding players from Mumbai and all over from India, and basically your fans, who idolize you and want to make it, as big as how you've made. Any piece of advice you'd like to give to any budding athlete?
I think what I actually followed when I started playing was the only thing that mattered was to enjoy the game. I think there are people around who started with me. They lost the interest and midway, and they just left it and they started studying. But I never lost the interest because I actually loved the game, and winning and losing didn't really matter to me initially, and it shouldn't matter. And I think that's the only advice I would like to give to the budding youngsters, especially, is that you shouldn't chase success. You should actually just believe in the process and put in the effort day in, day out. And at some point of time, you'll actually go on to win something which you had only dreamed about.
Pearls of wisdom from the youngster.
I never thought Chirag Shetty was capable of saying all of this. I never thought only. I thought Chirag would talk, such great words, but I'm so proud of him. That, from being the kid at our school, at prayer songs, we used to have prayer songs, and Chirag used to do this and
Dance.
this. From there to, to actually see him getting a memento from, Dr. A.F. Pinto, the director of the RAN group, life has come to a full circle. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on the show. Hopefully, we shall meet tomorrow and I shall take some money back. You've been beating me on a lot of bet matches. I'm sure. I hope that I can recover some of my money. But yeah, jokes apart, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Hopefully, you will have a splendid year. Whatever it's left. If you play the Thomas Cup, if you don't play the Thomas Cup, or whatever that comes your way, and 2021 is a big year, and hopefully we see a medal, across your chest. And when we do season 3. You could come on and, tell us the story of how you won the Olympic medal.
Yes, hopefully. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me.
Yes, thank you.
Beta, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा तुम बस शादी कर लो, उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
We are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we're just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel.
And me, Tushar.
Every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.
Wow. What a conversation with Chirag. I sometimes don't even feel that he's become an Arjuna awardee or a Commonwealth medalist, because he's just the same kid whom I met when I was 8 back at Goregaon Sports Club, and went on to play with him at the state championships, and then we were teammates at the Thomas Cup. And one thing which strikes out is that he's so humble. I mean, that is one big quality which we see in champions, is that they are very humble, they are very down to earth. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think once we're so very often caught up with, winning and becoming that champion and winning that title. And actually when you win it, you realize that all the fun and all the learning was in the process. I mean, yes, it feels great to be a Super Series champion, but, what about everything, the grind that you've put in, all over the last so many months, or everything that you've learned, the relationships that you've made. You've grown so much as a person that that's actually the win. More than the title is going to last for, I mean, yes, it will go down in the books as you'll be champion, but you're going to remember that moment only probably for that day. You're going to get back to your routine the next morning. So it's all about the process. And I think champions realize that. And that's what makes them, the higher you go, the more humble you do tend to become. I think, at least I hope that's how it works. But yeah, I think that's, at least in Chirag's case, that's very, very evident, because he's achieved a lot from where he began. Just to put into perspective his journey, starting off from Goregaon Sports Club with all of us as that youngster who used to play singles with all the girls. Literally, I don't think he really enjoyed it, but he still did it. And now to see him really shape into this champion doubles player that he is today. And I'm sure he has a very, very bright future ahead in the run-up to the Olympics, I'm sure. And we all hope and pray that he does come back with an Olympic medal. But it's very, very evident that, he's retained that, just he's purely a very, very nice guy at heart, and he's retained that. I don't think any of the wins or the success has really gotten into his head. Going back to a point that I made earlier, at the National Centre, since there are so many players doing exceptionally well across all events, be it women's singles, we have Saina and Sindhu, who've literally set the mark so high. And then in men's singles, we have this whole battalion of top 30 world-class players, and now men's doubles, women's doubles. So it's, there's this whole contingent, and at some point at every event, we have someone shining. We have someone going the length of the tournament. So I think for youngsters, they're seeing it live. They're seeing these senior players actually, win titles. They're seeing what comes with the win. They're of course seeing the grind and the work and, the discipline and everything that goes on behind the scenes. But they're also seeing the results. They're also seeing that, wow, I can make a career out of this. I can, actually make a living out of this if I put in the work. So yes, I am going to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I am going to, follow that diet, sleep on time, because it means they're seeing, what they're going to get at the end of it. So, whether it's, the funding or the endorsements or the limelight or the fame, I don't know. It's what motivates each individual. But as far as extrinsic motivation goes, I think there's so much out there that's at stake. So, everyone wants to go the distance, put in the work, and make the most of, everything that's available to them today.
Yes, on that obviously Gyani note, we come to an end for another episode of The Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to all of them on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow IVM on their social media, that is IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want us to talk about anything specific, please reach out to us on our respective social media handles, that is Shlok95 on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Tanvi Lad93 on Instagram and Twitter.
Until then, ciao. We shall be back very, very soon with another fresh episode of The Millennial Athlete with Tanvi and Shlok. Thank you.
रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे पॉडकास्ट लगते हैं. नाम है फुटबॉल शुटबॉल. Presenting Football Shotball, a show about three friends discussing our favorite game over a beer. Sometimes 3, maybe even 5. Hi, I'm Shiva, and with me are my 2 sidekicks, Gaurav Sapre and Karthik Iyer.
Sidekick? You mean like Batman's Robin or Van Persie Robin?
No, I mean like Alexis Sanchez, but with a little more skill than just playing the piano.
Ha! Just shows how the best players at Arsenal are mere bench warmers at United.
Oh, thank you, Iyer. But you're a Fulham supporter, so whenever you say anything to support me, I question my beliefs.
Just like how Griezmann would say, एक बार मैंने जो decision ले लिया, तो मैं अपने आप की भी नहीं सुनता.
Banter aside, we will talk match reports, transfer rumors, top controversies, fantasy football picks, and so much more. So grab a beer and tune in to Football Shotball every Wednesday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you get your podcasts.
जिंदगी डायरीज के पन्नों में कुछ पुरानी यादें, समुंदर किनारे झूमते दरख्त, जवान दिल की धड़कनें और अनजान मुलाकातें हैं. तो आइए खोलिए मेरे साथ जिंदगी डायरी के पन्ने और साथ ही खुलकर जीते हैं जिंदगी। आप सुन सकते हैं जिंदगी डायरीज IVM पॉडकास्ट ऐप या वेबसाइट पर, या जहां कहीं से भी आप अपने पॉडकास्ट सुनते हो।